Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use him pronouns. Quick short update. The web series, the little web series thingy-majiggy I was in is coming out by the end of next week, and I'm very excited about that, and I'll definitely share it with you folks as well, the links. I don't have like one particular topic for today's video. It's more like me just brain dumping on camera and just verbalizing my thoughts per se about what I've realized about myself and how I operate as a human. So the way, just some context. So the way I sort of grow and develop is I try to understand myself as much as possible, and like, especially like whenever something happens, be like, why do I respond this way? Why do I have these thoughts? Is it like conditioned, or is it like a learned response, or is it like where what are the roots of these thoughts? What is my mind and body trying to tell me when I experience these different physical symptoms, these different emotions, these different headspaces? What is it trying to say? Do I see common patterns, themes? Is there anything, unhelpful and unhealthy for me that I'm doing, or I'm continuing to feed the cycle of that I need to sort of break and exit? And I see sort of like these little milestones as like software updates for Lev's operating system. So like with devices and our phones, laptops, technology, there's updates, software updates, bug fixes, just updates in general, to improve things. And that's how I sort of see the cycle, the entire thing of my life, just continually updating my software when I realize, this isn't really working, this is not really helping me, and then changing things and then updating my software. Or I can see it as like, I drew my phoenix the other day, and it's like I see it also as I'm shedding my old skin like a snake, and sort of I rise, or I can see it like I'm sort of burning my old self into ashes and sort of rise from it as a new phoenix and a better version of myself, rising from the ashes of my old self. That's also how I see this whole thing. So yesterday I was very, very stressed. I felt frustrated. I felt overwhelmed, and I just felt exhausted. Um, this is like work related. It's just like my workload has gotten ridiculous, and I just felt like I can't get through it all, and it's just too much for me to sort of bear on my shoulders. Like literally, I was on the verge of an emotional breakdown in the middle of my work office. I'm not joking. So I essentially vented to my supervisor about all of these feelings and these challenges and like what's not working for me. And also yesterday, I like my nervous system started playing up again. My abdomen pain started getting worse again, and I started feeling sick again. So as from my previous experiences, whenever I feel this way and these physical symptoms start manifesting more intensely, it means that my mind and body are essentially screaming at me to, Lev, you need to change something. You can't keep soldering on like this. You can't keep doing this. You need to change something, or something has to change. Otherwise, we're just gonna be here. We, as in all these symptoms and this low mood, it's just we're just gonna torment you until you do something about it, because we're screaming at you. That's what it's saying. And I realized for me, the first thing that really helps is just venting in general, just getting it out of my own head, verbalizing it, have someone else sit there and listen to me and sort of talk to me about through this whole thing. It's, I guess it's the theme of my life. I guess I live very honestly, and like I usually tell people in my life, especially like my close friends, literally everything that happens to me and things that I go through in life. I mentioned in a previous video, even like the seemingly smallest things, like a few months ago, my neighbor, the little kid. That sounds weird. I mean, the kid in the my neighbor's place had a little lemonade stand, and I bought a lemonade just to support the kid because it was like adorable, like a little lemonade stand. And I told my friends about that too. So I literally very open. I live very honestly, and I tell people a lot of things about what about my life. So that's me. And so it makes it even more important that whenever I'm going through a rough time, that I vent it out, I verbalize it out to someone. And usually I don't expect advice from like people I vent to. It's more like I just need to get it out as an outlet. Honestly, my supervisor was so awesome. Like she saw how stressed and tense and sad I was. So she took me to get bubble tea, which is like so cool. She was gonna pay for my bubble tea as well, but I refused. I'm like, no, I'm paying for my own one. It was, I guess, really nice. Like, it's a really nice gesture, and I felt very. Feels really weird to say, but like, I felt very humbled, and in general, and I literally thanked her like 10 times yesterday. I guess for me, whenever someone does something for me or shows an act of kindness, even if it's like seemingly small and insignificant, I will still thank the person like repeatedly over and over again. And like, I'm still trying to understand that part of my nature, as in, like, I guess I pay attention to the little things and I'm like grateful for a lot of things. Um, And it's also interesting because whenever I do something for someone and they thank me, I'm like, it's seriously not a problem. Like it's nothing. But then when people do things for me, I'm just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That wasn't sarcasm. Like literally thank them repeatedly. I don't know. I guess it's like someone taking time out of their day and putting some effort and like this they like they care about me that they wanna help me and support me. I don't know, something about that is just really humbling and nice and wholesome. I I can't take all of this for granted. Yeah, even the seemingly small things I know I pay attention to literally everything. The second thing that I recently came to realize is about my pansexual and panromantic identity. I haven't really talked about this on YouTube. I mean, I've mentioned that I'm pan, but I have not like really gone into depth about this whole thing and like my sexual orientation essentially. So to backtrack a little bit, I first came out to myself as bi, and then I came out to myself as a lesbian, and then I came out to myself as straight. I'm like, I'm probably straight, and then I'm just like, no, I'm pan. So that's the whole. It this went over like a few years actually. So yeah, it's not like a 1 day sort of thing. So it's like a journey, over a few years, and now like yeah, I came to realize that I am pan romantic and pansexual. Um, and just thinking about um, the I thought I was a lesbian thing. So I I think that I was scared of men in a way, which is like nothing to do with sexual orientation at all. Like fear of men and sexual orientation, it's not like related. But I think in my head I was scared of dating guys because I was scared of a part of myself, which is essentially my trans identity. That's literally the puzzle piece that I put together that makes the most logical sense. Yeah, I was really scared of myself, and then and my I was scared and ashamed of this part of my identity as being a trans man, even though I didn't know that I was trans back then. My subconscious I think was just trying to suppress and avoid all of this, and in not liking myself and not being essentially being scared of my own identity, I sort of projected that onto others as well, and like just avoiding guys in general. um but now that's changed. There's definitely not anymore. um if you haven't watched my previous videos of me talking about this, I've overcome the fear of intercourse. I still remember filming that video like earlier this year about relationships and that whole thing. It's like it's so unreal to me that like that version of love is like sort of not sort of it's like no more like that part of that I shedded my skin. It's all gone now. Like that's all gone now. I don't. I'm not scared of this. It's just like a thing. Like it's part of, I guess, being human, and like it's nothing that really it doesn't really weird me out anymore. Um, yeah, and I realized that like I get attracted to people, not gender. So like it doesn't really it doesn't bother me what gender the person has or like what they have downstairs and like all of that. Like I don't really care. Like that's not the important thing for me. Um, I get attracted to personality, the person's values. I find that to be very important. Like the person's values, how they live their life, how they treat other people, how they treat themselves, vulnerability, honesty, all of these things are important to me. And honestly to me, I can't imagine myself just hooking up with someone for the sake of hooking up with someone and having that sexual experience. Like I can't imagine myself doing that because for me there it has to have meaning behind it to like make it fulfilling. And if I just go up to some random person and want to hook up with them, like I mean, yeah, it'll feel good. It'll feel good. You'll get I got that like rush and everything, but that's that's not gonna be fulfilling. It's just like a short term high, and I'm like, that's not worth it. Especially in disrespecting myself and my body, it's not worth it, and it does not align with how I live my life and my operating system. If I had to do that, that would just throw my entire operating system out the window, and I would feel these physical symptoms like feeling sick and my nervous system being on edge for like a very long time because that is not me. I can't do it. I can't. And like this is something I knew about myself for a long time, but I haven't really verbalized it. Um, Actually, the first thing before that, I would much rather hear the honest truth than be told a reassuring lie, even if the honest truth hurts. I honestly just rather just take it up front and like get it over and done with rather than just have like you know a grudge or something, someone having a grudge against me or something, just like carrying on over time, just lingering here. Like just give it to me straight. Oh god, give it to me straight. That's I didn't think of like oh my god, that's funny. Okay, I mean just give it to me honestly. Like just I like it when people are honest with me. Just like be honest with me. Like if there's like a problem, right? We can work it out. You don't have to lie to me. Like that's how I again that's how I operate because I'm just a very honest person and I like honesty. Even if it hurts, even if it's a difficult conversation to have, even if I don't know, there's a lot of emotions to it. Like I'd rather just have an honest conversation than be told reassuring lies. Another thing is that being honest doesn't equate to being an asshole. Like I can be honest and not be an asshole towards someone. Like being honest doesn't mean being rude, disrespectful, taking away someone's dignity, etc. Like there is a way to be honest without being an asshole essentially. Okay, back to the thing I was gonna say earlier. So the thing I realized about myself for a very long time is that if the way I live my life and my value system, my operating system, if all of this internal part of life, like if I behave differently to who I am at the core, um, it really, really messes me up. And that's why I guess with my whole trans identity journey, trying to suppress it all because of fear, it really messed me up because the way I was living my life and expressing myself to the world and like is not aligned with who I am deep down. And yeah, I will always come back to my operating system because that's like the GPU, like GPU, CPU, CPU. It's like the heart of I guess live essentially. Um yeah, like if I say something, for example, if I tell my friends I'm gonna do this and then I don't do it, like it will be stuck in my head forever. Like I will not forget it. Like I can't forget it. Yeah, for example, yeah, saying something and not doing it, that doesn't align with how I live my life, which is for walking my talk essentially and not saying things without just not like having empty words spoken and having no action to follow it up. That would be incongruent with everything and that would mess me up. Essentially, like for me, everything has to be aligned. Like my values, my operating system, who I am as a person down at the core has to align with how I express myself with the world, interact with the world, and I guess how and my behaviors, my actions, everything has to be aligned. Otherwise, again, it's just gonna throw me off completely. And again, my mind and body will find ways to torment me with these symptoms and low mood and feelings of frustration, anger, all of these challenging emotions to navigate. It will find a way to do that until everything's in balance again. That's all the thoughts I have for now. I really hope you enjoyed the video. It's just sort of like a personal reflection thing and I'm just documenting this. I just realized like literally my entire YouTube channel is me documenting my life. And even from like even if I went back to watch the videos I filmed a few months ago, I would have noticed that I have grown a lot even in the past few months. And if I look back at the videos I made like last year or even the year before, like things were different for me now than to things were different now that things are different now compared to back then. So it's just my life in video form essentially. Thanks for watching folks and I'll see you in the next video.